is 12:07 a.m. October 31st.
Welcome to Cauldron o' Monsters! A not-so-annual competition of victims sending in their drawn submissions instead of curses. Looks like not everyone got the memo. Are you even a witch if you don't badger others to join? Anyway, since there are so few aspirant witches with even a sliver of artistic talent, let's take a look at each one of these, works of art. It's almost as ugly as its drawer. The rotoscope style is a nice attempt, and I do like the weird and threatening thumb appendages, but this ultimately boils down to a selfie with your jaw as wide as it goes. This strikes me more of zoomer humor than a fiend at the sight of I would soil my pants. I do love a good subversion. This fiend looks like it could have been a man-eating giant, and quite possibly still is. But apparently the big threat that this monster possesses is seemingly just having bad breath, and that is devilishly delightful. The different style of the man slowly walking away from a nuisance is a great image of what it feels like to judge these submissions. This monster seems to be straight out of some unknown eccentric Japanese game show, or it's an alien. The palpable action in the drawing pairs so nicely with the subtle flab of the alien's man boobs. There is something so well hidden within those eyes, almost as if there is yet another being underneath. Is this an insult directed at me? The drawer is lucky I'm not opposed to simplicity. This is as simple as it gets. And I'm not sure who the monster is here. Is it the living gourd, or the admittedly respectable-looking gentleman who is righteously throwing it, I presume? The thrower seems to be as confused as I am when judging this monster. Either way, I do enjoy a colorized historical photo of previous cauldrons. What a ghastly visage of what becomes of tree huggers. At least that's my assumption of what this image is. One shudders to imagine what made this man this way, resembling what awaits us all in the seventh circle. My only issue, and admittedly a big one at that, is that this is Cauldron o' Monsters, not Cauldron o' Potential Fate of Men. The only monster to make use of blood. The fur obscuring the eyes and the mouth does suggest nicely that there is more than meets the eye with this fiend, but ultimately this looks like what would be hacked out of the town's century-old cat more than it looks like a monster. Ah, the vanity of being the only contestant to sign their own submission. Though I must say that this piece seems to tell more of a tale than the rest. A well-drawn snake seemingly controlling a glazed-eyed man is frightful indeed, but misses a ghastly je ne sais quoi that would have elevated this piece. Perhaps if the snake were to be concealed, the threat hidden, or perhaps if the puppeted man had a look of anguish revealing to us that he still felt the agony of being impaled, would make this image more than mediocre. If only this artist spent as much time drawing an actual monster than he did drawing a shoe. The monster does look frightening, if I of course ignored the fact that I could just step on it and be on with my day. The scariest part about this monster is that he looks like he might tell me all about how much he does not like green eggs and ham. Well, at least the shoe looks good. The scariest submission this year. This is exactly what I envision must have haunted poor old James O'Lantern all those years ago. The level of detail is enough to haunt even the greenest of goblins, but still leaves me questioning how this paralysis demon can actually hurt me. Now that I've given my fair review of all the submissions this year, let's go ahead and put the insignificant monsters out of their misery. Oh, good. We have a grand total of 3 half-decent monsters this year. Let's go ahead and treat the runner-ups with all the respect I have for them. Congratulations! This year was a close one, but the edge this witch had was that horrid hand hieroglyph he has. What a grotesque and misshapen monster that besets this man, with the perfect pinch of silliness to boot. Unfortunately for you, a picture of your mug is the worst monster this year. With all the imagination one could muster, a selfie is really the best this witch could come up with. You could have at least drawn this fiend as some kind of ghoul or goblin. Did you really expect me not to choose the ugliest monster as your self-portrait?
See you all next year.